The following podcast may contain adult language and an abundance of blood. So get ready, nerds, because we're talking campy vampire movies. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Salty Nerd Podcast, August Bites, Part 3. I'm joined, as always, by my fantastic panel of nerds. Matt Vader is always here. What's up, sir?
Hey, man.
How you doing?
I'm drinking whatever this bloody concoction is.
It's the blood of the innocent.
It's pretty good. I like it. Tastes good.
Also here, the Red Queen herself, Jude. Welcome.
Hello.
I can't take you seriously. Don't drink it. It gets caught in the teeth.
Yeah, your slobber all over.
This is Jude's week, everybody.
August Bites.
August Bites is back.
I gotta take these out.
Yeah, please. So every August for those. Oh, actually, Kadish. Kadish is also here. Welcome, sir.
Blah.
Blah. He's actually dressed up for once. That's crazy.
Blah, blah.
Blah. I got my slick back hair, my glasses, and my blood. So every August we do at least 1 week where we talk about things that bite, whether that be werewolves, vampires, sharks, or anything else with sharp teeth. Jude always loves to dive into the bloody side of cinema. And we have a ton of fun. This podcast, we're going to be talking about Transylvania 6, 5000. And it's, God, that's a movie.
That's a good word. That's a good word for it.
You are correct.
It's a movie.
Is it a movie, though?
I don't know.
Is it?
I mean, it's got a banger cast, but good God. Kramer's in it.
Uh-huh.
That should tell you something. So, yeah, we're going to look forward to this. We have a great week lined out for you. The next two movies on our list are also vampire movies. Once Bitten with Jim Carrey and the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So that's what we're going to be covering for this week's theme. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. Before we get into Transylvania 6, 5000, we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to drink a little bit more of the blood of the innocent, and we'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Hey, if you want to support what we do here so that we can drink more blood of the innocent, go to saltynerdclub.com and sign up for our club membership. You guys get 4 exclusive podcasts every single month that are completely ad-free and raw, and we have a ton of fun talking about classic sci-fi. This month, we're doing Farscape, which is, I think, a lesser-known sci-fi show that Matthew Kadish picked. We're having a lot of fun with that. So join up, saltynerdclub.com. It's only $5 a month. You guys get a ton of content. And we love our club members. We have a ton of fun with them. And you guys get a special place in Discord where we get to chat and all kinds of cool stuff. And you get to suggest the shows and movies that we talk about as well.
They also get ad-free versions of our audio-only podcast.
Yep. Tons of fun. And it's well worth it. It's only $5 a month for the beginning tier. If you're a badass, you can do the $30 tier.
Yeah, we love our $30
We love
tier.
it. Yeah.
They get all the outtake videos.
Yes, they do. We do have, oh God, guys, come on. Drinking this much, you got to have outtakes.
I don't actually recommend the $30 tier for that reason.
We can't allow that in the public area. All right, so Transylvania 6, 5000. I have never heard of this movie
Transylvania
before.
6,
5000. It's so goofy. This movie's whack. Jude,
Yes.
before you do the normal stuff, can you tell me why you picked this movie?
You know I love the camp.
Hardcore
And
camp.
yeah, this is just it's from 1985, and it just reminds me of like, it's so 80s, like, and trashy. They work for a trashy tabloid, and they're trying to like drum up a trashy story, and it just reminds me of like the Inquirer and the crazy stories that you would see in that, and people would like eat it up. And it's based in Transylvania, so I mean, what's not to love?
Okay.
Yeah, it's also hilarious.
It's hilarious.
To some.
Well, Alex, you're well known for not liking comedy.
Yeah, I have a hard time with
Listen,
comedy.
I had a bit of a hard time with this movie too. I didn't know what I was expecting. I've known this movie existed for years and years and years. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
And I get why you like it. And usually I'm on board. But man, this movie,
It's a movie.
if it wasn't
Yes,
if it wasn't for Geena Davis, that's who it was, right?
Mhm.
it saved it from a big old Zerbit.
Well,
At the end.
let me tell you what it's about.
Okay. Yeah, take it
Let
away.
me tell the people. All right, 1985, Transylvania 6 5000, rated PG with a runtime of 1 hour 33 minutes. This had a budget of $3 million. Want to take a guess what it brought into the box?
What was the budget?
$3 million.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cheap.
Oh, that's a lot for this.
Really?
I think
I think it's
so.
cheap. I'm gonna say it brought in 22 million.
Okay. Vader.
I was obviously wrong.
$5 million. $5 million.
Sorry, I had to take your.
It was a blockbuster at $5 million.
It doubled its budget. It brought in $7 million.
Okay.
And some, doubled and change.
Wasn't Jeff Goldblum famous? Not
Yeah.
yet. No. Wasn't he in like the not the thing?
The
What's
Fly?
the Fly?
I think The Fly was after
The
this.
Fly was after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But he and Geena Davis have been in several movies together, and they were married at one time.
They've been in 3 movies together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In hindsight, I wish that we had just done a Jeff Goldblum and Geena Davis week.
Ooh,
That would have been fun.
Yeah, but They did this movie together. This was their first movie together. This is actually where they met. Their second movie was Earth Girls Are Easy.
Mhm.
And then the third movie was The Fly, the
Yeah.
David Cronenberg remake of the classic horror tale.
I'm surprised we've never watched that.
Right?
we need to
That's
do
something. There's a lot of stuff we haven't watched. I
the
guess,
thing,
but-
the Fly. We need to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right.
You ready?
Yep.
All right. Jack and Gil went up the hill to fetch the legend of Frankenstein. When 2 reporters are sent to Transylvania to find a monster story for the trashy tabloid they work for, they find more than just Frankenstein. Ed Begley gets seduced by cosplaying nympho Geena Davis, then gets his junk squeezed by a swamp thing, then gets a piggyback ride back to Dr. Jekyll's lab by a very hairy Donald Gibb. Jeff Goldblum romances a single-ish mom with a penchant for bashing heads with wine bottles, which comes in handy when she has to save Frankenstein from being murdered at the Transylvania Wine Festival. Turns out, the monsters in Transylvania are regular folk with regular problems just like us. So put your torches away if you don't want to eat some glass. Discuss.
I had a really hard time with this movie. So I had to watch it twice because I watched it the first time and I hated it. And I was like, I can't hate this movie that much. It doesn't make any
It's so
sense.
silly.
And I watched it a second time and I fell asleep. So it's just, I couldn't. I don't know what it was. This show just does not plug into my brain. The cast is great. I mean,
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum's awesome. He's always awesome in everything. He's always that goofy, weird dude.
He's just Jeff Goldblum.
He's just Jeff Goldblum. But
Jeff
that's
Goldblum is just Jeff Goldblum in every movie he's ever been in.
but that's what you get when you get Jeff Goldblum. You know what you're
I
getting.
I
You
know.
guys say that about everybody. So every time I saw the Wolfman, I was like, I know that name. I know that voice. I know that voice. And I looked it up and I was like, oh, ever been with a big man?
Yeah. Ever been with a big
Wait,
man?
what?
That's Donald
Gibbs in
Gibb,
this?
dude.
Yeah.
Who is he?
He's
Like
a
Wolfman.
He's the Wolfman.
Wolfman. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
the Wolfman's like half his size.
This was 1985.
Was he like
Yeah.
what?
He was just
No.
a normal size dog.
Yeah.
I think this was like a year before Revenge of the Nerds, wasn't it?
Remember, though, Donald Gibb looks that big next to Jean-Claude Van Damme. Because Jean-Claude Van Damme's like,
Jeff Goldblum was a skinny dude.
I'm very confused. right
Actually,
now.
the director said that this is the tallest cast ever to be recorded on film because like everyone was like 6'1" or something
Yeah.
like that. Like Geena Davis, Michael Richards, all these guys.
And then when
like
they
super
stand next
tall.
to like Carol Kane, she's
Oh,
so tiny.
I love her.
was the chick from Princess Bride in this movie? That was her, right?
Carol Kane.
She's the wife of the butler.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
wife of the butler is actually the wife of Miracle Max in
Liar!
Princess Bride.
Liar! I recognize that voice.
She's in Scrooged.
And she's so freaking
she's-
horny in this movie.
Uh-huh.
It's
Lock
amazing.
his
Yeah.
wife in Taxi.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll be nude when you come back.
Yeah. I
Not a
love
witch, I'm your
her.
wife.
I love her in this movie. As soon as I recognize that voice,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's her. So cool.
She's a fun
She's
character.
so
actress.
cute.
Yeah, she's adorable.
Carol Kane is great and everything.
Uh-huh.
They the physical comedy in this movie feels outdated. Like it came
Sure.
from a different era. Like this is like, I guess the actor who plays Kramer in Seinfeld, like, he's kind of, he's kind of like a
Michael Richards.
It's like a one-trick pony, huh? It's
Well,
just
Well, keep in mind, this was Michael Richards' first movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was before Seinfeld.
Ed Begley Jr. got him this role. And basically all the physical comedy was stuff that he was just improvising and people were like eating it up
Mhm.
at the time.
He's funny.
yeah.
I
he
like
can be.
Michael Richards.
Like, what's funny is like every time he's on screen, like if you watch Jeff Goldblum is breaking character constantly because he's trying not to laugh.
Every time he's on screen, he's like fucking with Ed Begley. Like he's targeting him. He doesn't fuck with anybody else. He's targeting Ed Begley and he's like messing with him. And Jeff Goldblum is the one who's just like watching it and cracking up the whole movie.
It's fun. There's a lot of fun elements to this movie, but for whatever reason, it just did not strike my fancy.
Well, when it started and Mr. Roper was on there, I'm like, oh, this is going to be this kind of movie.
Mhm.
All right. So like, yeah, it kind of threw me for a loop. So
Yeah, I mean, the basic plot is these two tabloid reporters are sent to Transylvania to investigate claims that there's an actual Frankenstein running around. And what's great is like once they get to Transylvania, Ed Begley goes to the hotel and he's like, "Hey, have you guys heard about Frankenstein?" And everyone starts laughing at him.
And like the whole town is like,
Yeah.
ooh,
Yeah.
Frankenstein, you fucking weirdo.
They're like, "This is Transylvania. Don't you want to ask us about Dracula?"
Dracula. Yeah.
I do love the beginning part where Jeff Goldblum is like arguing for like some ethics within this.
That's you.
Yeah, as I felt that like in my soul. I was like, yes, please, can we have some freaking ethics in this company? And they're like, no, just go sell the freaking clickbait. And I'm
What a great job. They're sending me to Transylvania. Sick.
Company paid trip to Transylvania to
I
go
get to stay in a castle.
to go search for Frankenstein and shit like that. I
Yeah.
would do it. I'd do it
Dope.
for the podcast.
Yeah.
I would GoFundMe Transylvania trip for fucking podcast.
Did we go to Transylvania for our honeymoon?
No.
I think we should go. I think we should go to Prague and review in Bruges.
What about Portugal?
Portugal. Yeah.
Portugal.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like it did have some funny moments and I was kind of along for the ride a lot, but is it just me or was there like a lot of screaming and yelling in this movie? Like everybody's volume was like way up. Did you guys notice that?
No.
I felt like everybody was yelling and constantly like just bombarding each other on the
I
screen.
mean,
don't know.
it's a pretty. I feel like this is one of those movies where everybody just kind of had fun, went on vacation, had fun, made a movie.
Overacted a little bit.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of overacting happening.
Well, you know what I love about this movie is that it reminds me of one of my all-time favorite movies, which is Murder by Death, which is kind of like a spoof of like murder mystery stuff. And in
Oh, we
fact,
reviewed that.
I made you guys watch it for my birthday week one year in the audio only era. But like this movie just has like that kind of like funny, goofy improv feel to it that I really like. And I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie.
This was the first watch for you
This
too,
was
right?
the first watch for
Yeah.
me, and in watching it with Jude, I was cracking up.
You watched it with Jude and Tom,
And
which
Tom,
is the
yeah.
best
Oh.
way to
See,
watch
that would be
movies.
fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
That's the way to watch a goofy movie.
Yeah.
It's with Jude and Tom.
I have to watch these movies
Alone.
alone
And sober.
in my room, sober at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So what's funny about this movie though is that it was shot entirely in Yugoslavia, and at the time there were laws that prevented companies from taking money out of the country and sending it to like America or like whatever, repatriating the money. And the Dow Chemical Corporation put up the money to make this movie, put up the $3 million budget because they weren't allowed to legally take their money out of Yugoslavia. And so this was basically a tax scheme to get their money out of Yugoslavia. So like they spent all the money on producing the movie and then they recouped the money on releasing the movie. And so like all that money went to Dow Chemical as a way to basically repatriate their funds from the plants that they had in Yugoslavia at the time.
What does Dow Chemical make?
They make like
Fake blood.
Johnson & Johnson products and stuff.
Oh,
like
okay.
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 that.
Probably some fake blood too.
Yeah, but-
Probably everything in our life that we need.
Lube.
Lubriderm.
but this was basically a money laundering scheme, this movie.
That's great.
Which is
Amazing.
funny.
Good for them.
And Geena Davis, who plays like the sexy vampire in this, so like this was one of her first films, and she beat out 40 other actresses for the role of Odette.
wow.
And the reason that she got cast was because she did the best Bela Lugosi impression.
Don't look at me. I'm so ugly.
I want to suck your blood.
Have we talked about the principal from Ferris Bueller's Day
We
Off
have
yet?
not.
Dude,
We have
I was
not.
shocked to see him in this movie.
I didn't remember that he was
Yeah.
in this.
Jeffrey Jones, who plays
He's
the
pretty good.
principal from,
He's very canceled now.
Yeah,
Is he?
yeah. Well,
oh,
really?
What did he do?
They found child.
Yeah. He got accused of child pornography.
I
and
got no
stuff like
problem
that.
with getting canceled for that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That ain't cool, man.
yeah, fuck. That's a bummer, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how it all came out, but I want to say it's been like 5 or 10 years since,
So
and no one's seen him since.
Yeah, I remember it came out around the time he was on Deadwood, which was like a while back. So early 2000s, something like that.
What?
You get that? It's just that clot.
Yeah.
Is bugging me, dude.
blot.
You need to get rid of that clot.
Why?
Because it looks like it's gonna explode your face.
Lick it.
It's
No.
no. It says don't put it in your eye.
This thing right here. This thing right
No,
here.
I know what you're talking about.
I don't like it.
It's part of the
I
aesthetic.
can't quit staring at it.
It's part of the aesthetic, dude. It's a drip, it's a drip of
It
blood.
looks like it's a fucking zit that needs popped. It's disgusting.
All right, here. I got it.
There you go. Oh, thank you so much. That's better. Ugh.
Vader's OCD is kicking in.
Right?
It's like, it's weird. When I can't quit staring at him.
Oh, dude.
It's like,
Listen, the farther into this week we go, the more blood is going to be on my face. So just get ready.
You'll be crying tears of blood.
No, it's gonna be I'm going to be like, I just ate somebody. Just fucking blood.
come out of your eyes.
Like in Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Anyway, I feel bad. I don't have much to say about this movie. I don't think I really liked it. Like bits like this, like I just can't get into it. I'm like, this is
little
fucking,
midget puppet.
the little midget puppet, and you get freaking Kramer like smacking him around and making goofy noises. I just
It's like he's practicing his improv
Yeah.
for the people who come to stay at the castle.
He's such a goofy dude.
he's so goofy.
I think Kramer is my favorite part of this movie.
Really, he's my least favorite
He's
part.
my favorite part.
Like he only works in Seinfeld for me. I've seen him in other stuff, and I'm just like, you gotta.
The only thing he's doing in Seinfeld is stuff that he was doing.
I know, but
everywhere
for
else.
whatever reason, that setting, I'm okay with it. But when I see him in other movies, I just
he's
can't get
a
into it.
physical comedian.
I know he is, and he's good at what he does. But
He's very funny, and so I married an
I'm
ex.
so goofy.
It's like anybody that can fall down, like Chris Farley or Michael Richards or those guys, and not get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of respect for, because I've tried to do that kind of comedy. I did this one thing on my phone one time where I tried to trip over a rock at the park and fall down and do this thing, and I hurt myself. And it was not cool. It takes a lot of training and mental awareness of your surroundings.
I love the scene in this movie where Michael Richards throws down a banana peel and then proceeds to slip on it.
Yeah.
And then he throws down another banana peel and he tries to get Ed Begley Jr. to do the exact same thing.
Look how close he is to his face,
I
dude.
know, right?
He's just like
awkward.
right up in there.
The best part about this movie is watching Jeff Goldblum try not to crack up when Michael Richards is doing his
Look
thing.
at Jeff Goldblum's hair, dude. My God. What a glorious mane that
looks
is.
exactly like Jeff Goldblum.
No, but look at that, though. That's like
Yeah,
next level.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
He's a sexy dude.
He is. All right. Any other? Give me some scenes to work with here. What are your
it's
favorite
like-
scenes?
Oh, we need to talk about the doctor.
Dr. Jekyll.
The one who
Okay, so
when he goes through the door, he's
yeah,
crazy. When he's out through the other door, he's not.
Dr. Malvacqua.
Malavacqua.
Yeah.
So basically, like the premise of this is like they've been sent here to find the legend of Frankenstein, and what they find is like a take on Frankenstein, which turns out to just be like a regular dude who was in a car crash and kind of looks Frankenstein-y.
It's
while
very
he's
much
healing.
like a Sherlock Holmes type thing.
Yeah, and then like there's Odette, who is just like she's kind of a nymphomaniac lady who likes to cosplay as a vampire to get attention because she thinks she's ugly.
She's super horny.
And then there's the mummy, who's just like the ugliest girl in the town, who had a bunch of
Plastic
cosmetic surgery
yeah.
done, and they had to keep her in like a low oxygen place while she was healing, so they kept her in a coffin. And there's the Wolfman, who had
He's got that.
It's a hair disease.
Something hair.
Who's
gnosis.
apparently going to go fight in the Kumite in a couple of years.
Yeah.
So that was weird.
Yeah, so he started
Yeah.
electrolysis,
Yeah.
and he's got like a bald patch like on his stomach. So they're basically like all of these monsters are just regular people, but they're kind of like the freaks of the town.
Yeah, and there's a conspiracy amongst the mayor and the chief of police to try to like prevent people from finding out about these like freaks because
like a
they
tourism
don't-
thing, right? Yeah, it did. At the end of the movie, I was like, oh, it's kind of like a Sherlock Holmes thing. We're like, there's some crazy mythical
That's how
thing.
it could have ended.
Yeah, that's like, and then he goes and he explores this myth, and it turns out to be just like normal things.
Throughout many parts of this movie, I was picking up on a very big Mel
Brooks.
Mel Brooks vibe,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a Mel Brooks movie.
It does feel like one.
But it sort of feels like it wants to be, and all it made me do was want it to be a movie made by Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
I wanted Mel Brooks to remake this because it would be way better. I think in my head if this was a Mel Brooks movie, if he had just done the whole Mel Brooks thing.
You think it doesn't go far enough?
Something, yeah. You know, it's like The Doctor. The whole thing where he like goes through the door and he changes, right? Well, he changes into like the actor couldn't get his accent straight. It was like he was either some crazy doctor from Transylvania or a gangster from New Jersey.
Yeah.
It was like, come on, man, pick an accent. It was very
well,
strange.
no, that was the joke, though. It's like
when
whenever he entered into his lab, he became a mad scientist from Brooklyn,
Mm-hmm.
and then like whenever he exited, he was like the mild mannered doctor from Transylvania.
And he's like, "Can I get you a cappuccino?"
And I think my favorite character in this movie was the Igor dude, but it's not Igor. it's
Radu.
Radu. Yeah. He was
I
pretty
love the
funny.
couple of Radu and Lupe.
Yeah, John Byner and Carol Kane.
Yeah.
I've always had like
Is that Carol Kane?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I've always had like this weird nerd crush on her.
Yeah, I kind of
It's
do
weird,
too.
right?
There's something freaky,
like weird hot, right?
yes,
Yeah, weird hot,
yes.
for sure.
She's
it's like-
so weird hot.
Yeah.
So there's this great scene between John Byner and Carol Kane when he goes into the kitchen to basically get lunch, and she kind of tries to help him. And it's this big, long, drawn-out scene that's just absolutely hilarious. Like
Yeah.
Jude and I couldn't stop laughing
Yeah.
about it.
There's like a hierarchy of servitude, and he's the servant of the castle, but she's his wife, but
Yeah.
also his servant.
Yeah.
So he calls everyone master except for her. She calls him master, and he treats her like shit because she's so beneath him.
And what's great about this scene is like in the script, it said they go and get lunch. And then, so like basically John Byner and Carol Kane improv that entire interaction for the movie.
It's more or less all one shot too, isn't it? Like the camera moves with them.
There's just something about her that in real life, you know, she's a freak.
Oh,
yeah.
She's a freak in the sheets. You know she is. She's an absolute freak. And
I totally get it.
There's something about her that
because I've never seen her in anything other than Princess Bride. That's what I know her from.
You never seen Scrooged?
No, I've never seen Scrooged.
Never seen Daxi?
No. Taxi?
Yeah.
With
She's Lotka's wife.
De Niro?
No.
No, that's Taxi Driver.
Oh, sorry.
The TV show.
No, I've never seen Taxi. Anyway, so like I've never seen her out of that prosthetic makeup from Princess Bride, where she's like this old hag witch. I'm not a witch, I'm your wife. Like that's what I know her from. And then when I saw this, and I'm like, she's fucking super hot.
Yeah.
And then she has that voice, and I'm like, oh man, but I get exactly what you're saying. Like she's got some
There's a
weird
vibe.
sex appeal there. Or I'm like, you do dirty things.
But you know, she's not like a woman I would normally like be attracted to, right?
Me neither.
There's just something about her.
Something.
It's like, that would be a fun ride.
Absolutely.
She would tear some shit
She's
up.
my favorite part of this movie. I'll tell you that right now.
I would pull a groin muscle.
She would pop out at you in unexpected ways and give you a heart attack. But what a way to go.
What a way to go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but that scene in the kitchen between the butler and her, it was so funny. It was really funny.
Can you guys explain to me what's the deal with the telephones in this movie? With
what?
With the telephones. They all have like monsters like glued to them.
Because it's Transylvania.
Yeah. So the castle that they're staying at is meant to be like a themed hotel.
Oh, okay.
And so like they really play into like the myths of Transylvania, and that's why like everything is like kind of like jacked up.
I mean, honestly, guys, if we traveled and went to Romania and we didn't like do some vampire Frankenstein shit,
I'd be disappointed.
I would be disappointed. And you know, everybody that lives there is like, oh, these fucking Americans.
But like
goddamn
if you
books.
look at the lunch scene, so like when they're at the table, there's all these like beakers and like science things, and they're drinking like their milk out of like
Test tubes.
Yeah.
I can't take my eyes off her, bro.
I know. Now that you see it, right? There's something there.
Oh my God, that would be so fun. She's wild. Look at that fucking look. I'm sorry, guys. We're talking about something that's off screen for you, but
they made her look like 80s Madonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a French maid uniform. A Transylvanian maid
I'm glad you
uniform.
see it because, man, I've been there for a long time.
I can't not see it, dude.
Before I watched this movie, I've been there with her. It's like, man, there's something freaky about that chick.
You haven't seen Scrooge?
No.
Oh, she plays the ghost of Christmas
Past.
Past.
Yeah.
Past. Is it past?
She's a favorite.
past.
She plays one of the ghosts of Christmas, and she's got like a Tinkerbell uniform on. She's really sexy.
She beats the shit out of Bill Murray.
Yeah,
Yes.
she does. She does.
Yes.
Okay. I might have to watch that movie now.
You know, one of my favorite scenes in this movie is when Ed Begley Jr. and what's his name?
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum, thank you. When Ed Begley Jr. and Jeff Goldblum are going through the woods, and they hear like this snarling, like almost like guttural, like animal noise.
Oh, in the woods?
Yeah, in the woods. Yeah. And they go in the bushes, and there's just this old man having sex with this hooker.
Well, they were looking for the wolfman,
Right,
and they thought that they were following the wolfman.
Yeah, and it's just this old guy with a prostitute, and they're like, "Oh, sorry, we thought you were an animal," and the prostitute's like, "He is
an animal." And then they're like, "We'll leave you alone." And then he tries to go back at it with her, and he's like, "Oh, stop! The magic is gone."
I got a question. I'm going to change the direction just a little bit.
What's up?
So we're all familiar with Jurassic Park dude,
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff Goldblum, right?
You better put some respect on that name.
I
Right?
have mad
Malcolm,
respect for
goddamn
Jeff
it.
Goldblum, man. I love that dude.
Ian fucking Malcolm.
Ian
bro.
Malcolm, right? But I've never understood Ed Begley.
The blonde dude?
The blonde. I need
He
somebody.
is
I need
the
somebody.
biggest dork.
I need somebody
have
to
ever seen.
explain him to me. I want Kate just to like, what is the deal with this dude?
Is he famous from something? Is he like
I've never really liked anything that I've seen him in. At the same time, I can't remember what I've seen him in, but I know I've seen him in things.
A Mighty Wind.
What?
So he does a lot of the Christopher Guest,
Yeah.
Spinal Tap type improv comedy, but he also just kind of shows up as people's like dads. He was in Ghostbusters 2016.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys who he's the face that you recognize, but like you never really kind of like focus in on him. And I think that he's Ed Begley's son, who was like a big actor in like the 50s and stuff like that.
Well, his name's Ed Begley Jr., right?
Yeah.
That's his.
Yeah.
So
More classic
But I've
Hollywood
never-
nepotism.
I've just never understood
I don't like him.
I don't like him. I really don't.
It's a weird thing because I'm watching this and like every time he shows up, he just looks like a dork.
Yeah.
And there's no like you look at Jeff Goldblum, for whatever reason he just oozes sex appeal,
Sure.
right? And then you put this guy next to him,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
just the biggest
Jeff
freaking.
Goldblum oozes sex appeal.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yes!
that's kind of
Really?
a weird take. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Are you into like tall, lanky, giraffe looking chicks?
Yes.
I know Jude has told me that 1980s Jeff Goldblum is a sex symbol,
Uh-huh.
but
sure.
I never saw it. I never saw
I mean,
it.
I just got this image in my head of that one photo of him out there with his chest.
Yeah, shirtless.
yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah,
Jurassic
it's
Park
like-
pose where he's like sitting there with his chest out. Fuck yeah, dude.
I need that poster behind
That's
me.
right. That would be good. Right there.
Do it in like the actual like painted art form, it's all done up. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I don't
apparently there's
understand.
like a whole online community that's just obsessed with 1980s Jeff Goldblum.
Absolutely.
But if
But then
if,
you put him next to that guy.
If chicks want to bang Jeff Goldblum, then I can get us wanting to bang Carol Kane. So
Absolutely.
Something
there.
Yeah, there's something weird.
Unexplainable.
Just a weird sex appeal.
My point was you
I
put
do both.
you put Jeff Goldblum and then you put this freaking wooden plank next to him. And it's just like
I know, right? and they're both 7 feet tall.
they're both super
Yeah.
tall.
He was in a movie also, I think in the 80s, late 80s, with Roseanne Barr and one of our favorite people, Meryl Streep.
Ah.
Fuck you, Meryl Streep.
Dude, how hot is Geena Davis in this?
Oh,
movie?
she's super hot.
Yes.
It's worth. I'm
That
gonna get.
vampire outfit, can I please have one?
Was that the super low V?
Yeah, I'm going. Come on, nipple. No, damn it.
Give me some areola.
Such a tease.
It's always just like a half an inch away from
I know,
there.
right?
Yeah.
Nipple. Damn it.
Vader's on nipple watch the whole week.
I mean, she's in this movie for about 45 seconds total,
Right.
really.
Yeah. At the very end,
But
right?
she
But
looks
she's
great.
so ugly.
Yeah.
Don't look at me.
Oh, the reveal of the mummy where like they show like the hot girl underneath.
And he's like, there's more.
Listen,
because she has tits. She's like, bazankas.
She got me worked up in that outfit so much I had to go do Geena Davis naked on Google
Oh my god.
afterward just
dude.
to see it.
Gina
You know what I
Davis
mean?
parody porn.
No, it's there. There's some nips out there in Google though, but you know, I just had to like get that out of I had to exercise that out of my brain because they fucking cock tease us the whole fucking movie with her boobs, and you don't get to see them all, and it's bullshit. But I'm still good with it.
So no
It's
half star
okay.
for boobs then in this movie.
Quarter. Quarter star for almost Jeena Davis.
Yeah, for side boob.
Side boob, yeah.
Cleavage.
Oh, shit.
Pretty hot. And he got a lot of ass.
I love the
high.
Oh,
what do
the
you
high
call it?
hip?
The high hip.
Yeah.
Cut, yeah.
I hate
The
that. That's an
1980s
80s
workout.
That's an
spandex.
80s thing that I
Yeah,
do
yeah.
not get behind.
We
I
are
love
going to
it.
talk about some 80s workout outfits in the next
Oh,
movie.
yes, we are.
For sure. For sure.
But yeah. There it is. Oh, you just put it up.
I put it up. That's Jeff Goldblum.
That's Jeff Goldblum.
Woo,
Why?
Daddy.
Pure sex
Man,
appeal.
That's weird.
We'll climb up
Smooch
all
him.
7 feet of him. Slide down the other side.
Okay. Let's do favorite moments. Is there a scene that really just like, this is why I watched this movie?
I don't know why we watched this movie other than Jude told us to watch
Jude
it.
told us to do it.
You guys are
I mean,
welcome.
I guess Geena Davis. I like her. You know, she was pretty hot. But
My
Kate Carol. She was. I like her.
The maid thing with her husband. Like
Yeah.
I that was my favorite part of the movie.
Radu was pretty funny.
Great. I'm
Radu
like
was
the whole
pretty
kitchen
funny.
scene where she's just like climbing all
He's
over
like,
him.
you're scum.
I
You're
was-
so beneath me.
I
She's
was-
like, I want to have sex now.
Okay.
I was actually getting upset with him for turning her down so much, and I'm like, bro,
Right.
well,
are
she's
you doing?
right there.
Yeah. She's like, I just want to help you. And he's like, you're being a nooch.
He's like, go away. And she's like, okay. And then like, she's like, are you ready now?
He's like,
comes back.
leave me alone. She's like, okay. Did you miss me?
Like throw her on top of that freaking stainless steel countertop and go at it, bro. Just,
Yeah.
God dang. All right, Jude, favorite moment in this movie.
I love Radu and Lupe. And I also love Jeff Goldblum. And I also love Geena Davis. And I also love Donald Gibb.
I can't believe that's
believe
it.
that.
I love the big reveal at the end where they come in on a horse-drawn carriage and they're like, we're going to explain everything. And the townspeople are just like, burn them. And the cops are like, I'm sorry your daughter's missing, but it's time for the wine festival. It's just so silly, the whole movie.
It was very silly.
It was really weird at the end, right? When they just like they had
Explained
they had all
everything.
the classic monsters,
Yeah.
but they didn't. It's like
It's the Sherlock Holmes.
it was
effect.
very
Yeah.
strange. It was a very strange ending to me, but
Yeah.
you know, I wish they would have been all real and just would have like eaten everybody. That would have been way cooler.
That would have been a crazy ending. of
I
this
know,
movie.
right?
If they thought they were all just normal people who had issues, but then really it was straight
Yeah.
up like a massacre at the end.
Yeah.
What if this movie ends on a massacre at the wine festival?
That would have been great. I would have loved that.
That would have been awesome.
Perpetrated by the single-ish mom
Yes.
with her broken wine bottle because
Yeah.
she was desperate to kill someone. She bashed like 3 heads in with wine bottles throughout the whole movie.
Good for her.
She's the real villain.
I mean, they did a good job playing up on all the monster tropes with
Yeah.
the little girl and and Dracula. It was
Yeah.
fun.
And when Dr. Jekyll is like with the Wolfman, he's like, why did you bring this guy back to the lab? And he's like, couldn't get him off my back.
I feel like this is one of those movies that any cinema buff should probably watch once.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if I ever watch this movie again, but I'd never seen it before this for some reason.
I mean, it is notable for being Michael Richards' first movie.
Yeah.
You know,
If for some reason I'm with Jude and Tom and it happens to be like October-ish,
Yeah, sure.
yeah, I'll watch it with them.
Yeah. Might be fun.
Yeah. Katie, did you have a favorite moment?
yeah. So we already covered some of my favorite moments, which is the butler and Carol Kane in the kitchen getting lunch, and also the animal having sex with the the prostitute. But actually, one of the most famous reviews that Leonard Maltin from Entertainment Tonight ever did was for this movie.
Oh, really?
And so in the movie, Transylvania 6-5000 is the phone number for the castle in which everyone's staying. But it's based off of this song called Pennsylvania 6-5000. And so Leonard Maltin, when he did his review for this, it started off with that song. And when it gets to the refrain, he says, Transylvania 6-5000 stinks.
Oh, no.
And then he ended his review, and it was like the shortest review he's ever made.
Oh my God.
But it was also the one that like is his like most famous review, and so like everyone always asks him about this movie. He's like, man, I wish I made a more proper review because like I don't want to keep talking about this movie. He's like, it stinks. So
That's funny.
that's a little bit outside of the realm of the movie itself, but like I just thought that was kind of like a funny thing to mention about it.
There's another scene I really like.
Yeah, go ahead.
So towards the end, when the townspeople want to murder the Frankenstein, and they have him like about to get like burned to death. And Ed Begley Jr. is in the crowd pretending to be multiple people, turning the crowd like
Getting him frenzied up.
Yeah. He's like, who would do such a bad thing? And he like steals a guy's like toupee, and he's like, yes, who would do that? And he's like trying to turn the crowd to like be for that, like pro them instead of trying to like murder this guy.
You mean there were agitators in the crowd, Jude?
That never happened.
That never happens.
That's the kind of stuff that reminds me of a Mel Brooks movie.
Yeah.
Except at a certain point, like he like messes up and like, you know, incites the crowd to like want to like kill the monster.
He's gotten a hold of his own hype, and they're like, should we listen to him? And he's like, no. Oh shit! And the crowd's like, yeah, burn him.
Just really quick, we can't forget. You know, it got brought up in our Discord chat.
Yeah.
The weirdo in the water with the extra arm, or pretzel dude.
Yeah, that's the swamp guy.
What is he from? I've never. Is that just something they made up for the movie?
Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Yeah. They mentioned the Creature of the Black Lagoon, and that's what he was supposed to represent. But he was actually just a guy who had like a weird bone disease, so like he was all contorted.
Okay. Just some random.
Yeah, like he just reaches up and grabs Jeff Goldblum's ball sack.
Kind of like just kind of tickles his balls.
It was Ed Begley, but he stepped on him, and that's why he had to reach up and grab his balls to get him off of him.
I mean, if I was gonna have a role in a movie, grabbing Jeff Goldblum's balls would not be a bad role.
You're so weird, dude.
Now I'm just doing it just to make you feel weird.
Makes me feel very uncomfortable. No. I don't. If you want to grab his balls, go ahead, man. What you do, you, bro.
Touch it, don't suck it.
You do you. It's fine. At least it's you fondling nuts this week and not me. Okay, so.
All right, let's do final thoughts. Give it a rating, Vader. Transylvania 6. 5,000.
God, you know, it was way more fun talking about it than watching it.
Agreed.
It's not a 1-star crap fest. It's certainly not like a 3-star movie. Somewhere in the middle. I'll go 2.25 stars for Geena Davis's almost boobs. 2.25 stars. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Jude?
Oh, well, I mean, this was my pick.
Right.
So I love anything in the realm of horror. And especially if you can make me laugh while you're giving me like classic monsters. I am a fan. I love the camp in this. And I love the 80s movies. It was a different time where they were making different movies, and I'm fucking here for it. Yep. I love Jeff Goldblum. I love Geena Davis. I love Carol Kane. And I love Donald Gibb. And it's so much fun. This is a movie I've watched over and over and over again since it came out in 85. This is 4 cosplaying nymphos out of 5 for me.
4 out of 5. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Cash?
All right. So when in leading up to watching this movie, I was convinced that I was going to hate it because it just looks stupid. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed this movie. Like it's a fun film. It's like, you know, as soon as you realize what you're in for, and if you just accept it, like you can have a lot of fun with this movie.
Sure.
And it was a good time. The thing I like best about watching movies from this era is that movies from the mid to late 1980s bothered to create theme songs that had the name of the movie in them. And so this movie has like the Transylvania 5000 theme song in it. And
you mean they don't just steal rock music from the 80s and make remixes of them and put them in their movies? Like literally every movie does today.
Yeah, so like throughout this movie, you just have that Transylvania 5000 song going, and I was like rocking out to it a couple times. I was like, yeah. So the cast for this movie is great. It was funny. I enjoyed myself surprisingly. So I'm gonna give it a solid 3 banana slips out of 5.
Okay.
I woke up in the middle of the night last night and I had this song stuck in my head.
It's catchy. It's catchy.
This is not my type of movie. I do enjoy some elements of it. I can't not like Jeff Goldblum in a movie, so he kind of made this movie for me. But it's not something I would watch on my own. If it wasn't for the podcast, this would never be on my list. So cheers to that. I will give it 2 Carol Kane. Is that her name?
Sure.
Carol. I'm going to give it 2 Carol Kane's Sexy as hell made outfits out of 5.
I think I'm going to add a quarter star because Carol Kane makes me a little bit horny.
2.5.
So 2.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
changing
sure
it?
she's very happy to know that.
Yeah. It's like something weird about her, man.
Just look at her, dude.
Oh my God, if we ever saw
give
her
her-
at a con,
Oh God, give her a whip and some leather stuff. It'd be awesome.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
no, keep her in the French maid outfit, but also hand her a whip.
I don't. How old is she? Because she was on 2.5 Men as Alan's girlfriend's mom, who like wanted to get smoke weed with him all the time and bone him at the same time. It was pretty funny, but yeah.
All right. Well, that's it, guys, for Transylvania 6 5000. Thank you all for watching the video. Really appreciate it. Comment below. What did you think about this movie? If you've seen it before, let us know. Who's the sexiest person in the movie? Is it
Carol
Jeff
Kane was born June 18th, 1952.
52. She's she's in her 70s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Still hit it.
Be a little dusty. It's all right.
Yeah. Still give her a whip.
If she would have me.
Blow it out.
On that note,
It'll be all right.
It's like a Nintendo cartridge.
Thank God for the Dow Chemical Company producing all that lube.
Vader, where can they find you on the socials?
You can find me at Matt Vader 74. Looking at Carol Kane stuff, I guess. Yeah.
Blowing out Carol Kane's cooch.
Come on, work.
Jude.
You can also find me stalking Carol Kane on the internet. At I am Juju on Instagram and on TikTok.
Well, now I'm going to have to stalk her on the internet too. Just peer pressure, blend in.
She's gonna
Yeah.
go to the police.
Gonna blow on it.
It's going to be like,
Yeah.
Can I take a restraining order against these people looking me up on the internet?
She's gonna Dina Meyer our asses. It's like,
Oh no.
no.
We're gonna get Geena Meyer.
Dina Meyer is just like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but you can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish on Twitter. Kadishbooks.com takes you to our Amazon page. And if you're listening on the audio end of things, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple iTunes. We really appreciate it.
All right, folks, if you want to catch us live, head over to our Twitter account at @salty_nerd for the podcast, and check us out on Tuesdays when we record this podcast live out on the internet. You can check us out, and you can jump into our chat room on Discord and chat with us while we record the episode. Highly encourage you guys to do that. We have a ton of fun with our chats in between takes. So when we're not actually recording the episode, we're chatting with people on Twitter. So if you want to join in on that, head over to @salty_nerd on Twitter and follow us there. All right, stay salty, folks.